Hi and welcome back to
Inspired to Game. I'm Sean.
And I'm Lola. If you enjoy what you see here, please support our channel by subscribing down below.
And if you've already subscribed, thank you very much, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
Today we are talking about City of the Great Machine. We want to thank Crody Games for giving us this review copy. This is a 1 to 4 player, one versus many game that can be played cooperatively or solo as well.
And the mechanisms it includes are hidden movement, asymmetrical powers, and a modular board.
Before we give our review of this game, we're going to give you a quick overview of how to play. Now, there's a lot going on in this game, and this isn't a full how to play, it is just an overview. Here it is. City of the Great Machine is a technological wonder. It is a floating city with districts that can change. It is controlled by an integrated AI system that was created by the people in order to make their lives better. Now, this AI has its own agenda now. It wants to take control of the entirety of human existence because it feels like it knows better. In this game, you'll either play as the Great Machine, trying to take over the people, or as the heroes, the revolutionaries, realizing what's wrong and trying to take their life back. If you're playing as a Great Machine, your win condition is to advance the master plan. If you're playing as the revolutionaries, your goal is to incite the people and conduct 3 riots throughout the city. These goals are really well tracked with the progress board. The progress board has 2 moving parts. There's an inner ring that tracks where the master plan is at. Every time you're instructed to advance the master plan, it will move 1 step further. Once it reaches the 12th position, that means the master plan is completed and the Great Machine has won the game. At the same time, discontent within the city is tracked by the top hand. As discontent is raised, it moves in this direction. If it reaches its final location at the very top, a riot is instantly created. If it reaches this position, discontent is fully enacted throughout the city, and now you only actually have to create 2 other riots. To set up the game, you will start by setting up each district either in a prefabricated way based on a template from the rulebook, or making it up yourself following some basic rules. Then you will put the famous citizens within each district as determined by the district with their face side down. Then you will put 2 orange guard meeples in every district. Whoever is playing the Great Machine will put all 3 of their servant minions in the ground citadel. Whoever is playing the heroes will choose what hero they want to play with. There will always be 3 heroes played. So if there is 1 person playing the heroes, they will take all 3. And if there's 2 or 3, they will be divided up amongst them. Each hero will have their own special power, as well as their own starting position. You will take their corresponding meeple, their access cards, and their player card, and put your hero in their appropriate start position. The game is played over a series of rounds. To begin with, you will have your opening phase. In the opening phase, you will pull the first city event. It will offer an additional rule, usually for the next round only, as well it has a condition that will raise the master plan if not complete, or if completed, depending on the card. At this point, the heroes as well as the Great Machine will gather their resources. This is trust for the heroes or bonds for the Great Machine. Essentially, these are like coins that are used both for purchasing movements as well as actions. The amount of bonds that the Great Machine gets to take is determined by the discontent track. The higher it is, the more bonds they get, so essentially the more resources they earn, and each of the hero earns trust based on how many citizens are in their current location. Now we move into the access phase. The access phase, each of the heroes will look at their access cards. These are the cards that will let them visit any given district. Now, at the beginning of the game, 1 is randomly removed, so you are always starting with 1 district that you cannot go into. Everyone looks at their cards and decides where they're going to want to move to that turn. They take their cards secretively and place it face down. This is important because the Great Machine cannot know where they are headed. Once all the heroes have decided where they are going to move in this round, they don't move there, they just decide it. Now the Great Machine gets to take their turn. They can use their bonds to purchase movement as well as actions for their 3 different characters that they get to run. Each of the different districts has specific actions that can be done within that district. As well, there are standard actions that they can do. Once the Great Machine has moved whatever of its servants that they want to move, they also have the option to spend some of their bonds to move guards around. Once they are done their turn, now the heroes get to do their turn. They will reveal their access cards and where they're going to that turn, and they must move to that location. Now, if it's a location where, say, one of the Great Machine servants is conducting a raid, well, they're going to be caught in that raid. They have no choice and must move to that location. Movement will cost some trust based on how many guards are in the district that they're exiting. They can each do 1 action within their turn as well. If you're caught in a position where you don't have enough trust to move between districts, maybe because the Great Machine moved the district that you're in and where you're headed to is much farther than you anticipated, or perhaps they move some further guards into an area and it costs more trust to move through, you are required to continue moving, and you can roll the die to see if you escape unscathed or if you get detained. Another way you can get detained is if there is a raid within the section that you're going to. There are many actions that the heroes can do in their destination district, such as trying to destroy guards, moving citizens, conducting a riot, and then specific actions that can be done in certain districts. Some of the special actions can involve moving different districts around. This is a floating city, and each district is an individual unit that is able to move around. It can be doing things like removing directives that the Great Machine can play. For the purpose of this overview, we won't go into details on all the available actions at this point in time, but there are a variety that both sides can make. After the heroes have finished their turn, you go into the closing phase, which resolves the city event. You see if the master plan increases or if discontent increases, and you get ready for the next round. Play proceeds like this until the master plan has either been completed or the heroes have accomplished 3 riots. I gotta start off with that this is the best 1 versus many games I have played. The theme is dystopian, it's steampunk, it is gorgeous, it is immersive. This is a fun game to play.
Yeah, everything about it pulls you right into that steampunk, right into that city, and leaves you there to figure your way out.
Well, yeah, and because of that, it is intense. This is not like a cozy, relaxing Zen game. This is an intense experience that is a whole lot of fun. And it doesn't matter what side you're playing on. So we made sure to play a variety of ways for this review. So I played the Great Machine. Sean played the Great Machine. We did it only with 2 players.
She played the Great Machine. I played the So-So Machine.
And we also played the cooperative mode as well, so we could combine forces. And it played really well at 2 players, and it played really well in all versions. But no matter what, it was intense, because one of the things about this game is it is expertly balanced. It is so well balanced, and it's one of the things that we both noted in every game we played. There is not one side that's built into the game overpowered. It balances. So at the beginning, say for instance, you can't really riot yet because you need to raise that discontent. As it goes through the various levels, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're getting more and more of your famous citizens involved. So it starts with the artists at 1 and the scientists then at 2. As you raise it, more and more will join your efforts, and you need them to join your efforts. Because to have a successful riot, you have to have more active citizens than there are guards in that district. So if you've got a 1 and a 2 and your discontent is up to level 2 and you've got 1 guard, well then you have a successful riot. If you have a 1 and a 4 and you're at that level 2, well now suddenly you don't have enough to do it. So the more discontent you have, the more of your citizens will join in your revolution, but also at the same time, the more bonds, aka money, the Great Machine is making, so the more they can do to thwart you. everything is really well balanced like that. Somebody gets a benefit, but then there's a corresponding deficit for the other side. So right from beginning to end, the game is balanced and you don't know who's going to win. Every game we played, both of us are feeling like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose this game, I'm gonna lose this game. But we'd both be thinking it at the exact same time. And we just didn't know how it was going to go until it was done.
And it's really that balance is at the even the very beginning. As you set up the progress board, it says for the heroes, if it's one player, you start all the way as low as you can go, because you don't have the challenge of trying to communicate with two other people and make your plans while the great machine is listening. With a 3-player game, you start at just below where you're getting the level 1 citizens involved. And the same thing with the great machine. If it's an experienced player, they say start that all the way as far as low as you can go, so they have to go through every single level. Otherwise, start it at 2 or 3 so that they have a handicap built in already. Yeah,
that's really nice when you have an obviously better, more skilled player than the other side, because sometimes that's an issue with one versus many games is did I see something?
I'm missing here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because yeah, so it's nice to have that adjustment that you can do to make the game more equitable. Nobody wants to be trounced, and nobody wants to trounce. It's just not fun. It's nice to play feeling like you both have a challenge. So it's nice that there's some built-in mechanism as well to make a difference there. So with the artwork, as you can clearly see, this is a gorgeous game. The artwork is beautiful. The attention to detail in all the illustrations is fantastic. The components are wonderful. Like, one of the big things that draw me into this game is that wonderful progress board with the gears, and like, it is just beautiful, and it makes the game so much more clear, as well as it's nice and thematic as well. As you're moving the gear, you're seeing where the master plan is, you're seeing where your discontent is and how it relates to everything else. So it's yeah, it's all very nice.
Yeah, and there's a great mix of so minis for the servants and the heroes, and as well just the meeples for the little standalone guards. It's a great mixture of those two elements. Usually you either get one or the other in a game. This has got both, and they both work for what they are intended for.
And it's neat that this is a retail edition game. And it has minis, and they're really nice minis. Like, the entire quality of this game, to me, I would expect from a deluxe version of a game. So yeah, we were really excited about that, because we do like quality in our games. And the neat thing about the theme is every aspect to the rules is immersive to it. Everything makes intuitive sense, whether it's like the way that the different citizens have their different ratings. Everything about it is so thematically on point that I was really impressed. The rulebook was also really nice, and what's really interesting too, is from the multiplayer game to the cooperative game, it's a very different experience. So when you're playing competitively, a huge part of that game is the deductive part, trying to figure out what your opponent is doing, what they're trying to pull off. You're also playing a little bit differently because, well, maybe you're trying to redirect them to make them think you're going to do something that you're not doing, and at the last minute you're going to pull off a move that's unexpected. Or maybe you think they're expecting the unexpected, so you do the expected. So there's so much of the interplay with the deduction, with the trying to figure out what you're doing. And in the in the cooperative mode, there's none of that. You have the AI that's running the AI, and I even love that in and of itself because it works so well to have your AI being an AI. It makes it really thematic, but and because of that too, there's no deductive part to it. There's no trying to get away with something. There's no clandestine aspect. It's just playing for the pure strategy of it. So within the cooperative game, that's actually an advantage to you, because the Great Machine is not doing what it's doing in direct response to what you're choosing to do. It's just an automated thing, and that's a big advantage.
Yeah, because it lets you essentially count their cards and know that the servant movement deck has a certain number of each of these kind of cards, and if you've seen that one and it's the only one in there, then you know that they're not going to make that kind of movement, and therefore I should be safe going here or there.
Well, yeah, and that's, you can only really guess that though in that last round. So they have a set deck of movement cards, which you know the amounts of, and as they each do their movement, as that deck runs down, you can start to kind of predict what they're going to do, which really does help for a turn or two. But then it's reshuffled, and now you don't know again. And it is tough though, like playing cooperatively against the Great Machine. They are powerful, so there is a good balance there as well. So you do have some advantages, but you have some disadvantages as well. It makes it for a tough game. I definitely really enjoyed playing all sides. So I enjoy being the Great Machine, I enjoy being the revolutionaries, as well as doing it cooperatively. Each one has such a different strategy, it makes for a completely different game. It was almost kind of a little scary though, being the revolutionaries, because I felt like cat and mouse game, and I'm the mouse. I like being the cat best. So that pretty much sums up our thoughts about this game. As you can tell, we really enjoyed it. This is going to be one that makes it to the table again and again when we want an intense play. I do say that our games took a lot longer than it said. This was a minimum 3-hour play for us, but I think it says about like 45 minutes to 90 minutes, 45 minutes to 90 minutes, and it was never that way for us. Maybe this game lent itself to some analysis paralysis that affected us along the way. But it is a fantastic game. You can check it out if this sounds like a game for you. If you like a one versus many game and you like the dystopian steampunk theme that this is, I think you might like this game. Check it out. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching our video today.
Check out some of our other videos.
And as always, happy gaming, folks. I love the theme. It's a steampunk, well, it's a dystopian theme. It's a steampunk and dystopian theme.
One more time for posterity.
Okay, I'll start over. You get detained if this shows. I gotta start. Okay, I gotta start out with.
We start it again.
Okay. There is an outer turny bit that